I'm laughing at myself because I was doing a countdown and I forgot Facebook does a countdown. So it's like, what are you doing, Evelyn? This isn't YouTube. Um, this is Bright Star Mornings. And now you can hear me, possibly, by my own mic. Oof. That's annoying. That's annoying. So, okay. Sorry. Oof. All right, so we're just gonna have to stop that. There we go. Wow, it's never done that to me before, so that was a new one. I was talking to my good friend Monica. Hey, Monica Gill Coaching, about this whole Bright Star Morning like process, and the whole like getting it started part, like just this opening bit is always me like having little freak out, essentially, like a little freak out moment as I figure out how to share it and things like that. And the person that I like, the mentor, the sort of like it's still doing it, the person that I'm sort of looking up to when it comes to this is Mel Robbins, who does these coffee talks, right? And in Mel Robbins' coffee talk, she starts off like every coffee talk with what I call, those of you who know me from, OPS stuff, typology stuff, I call it an observer freak out. We call it an observer freak out, where she is like trying to figure out the technology and trying to like get things going. And if Mel Robbins can start like that, well, then I can start like that. Like, it's okay. It's a little unfortunate this time that an audio part happened. That's never happened to me before. So that's a new one, right? So like every time these things happen, so I'm 2 minutes in and I'm up and running now. I've shared it to my page, and so hopefully people can start to see it. But every time you have those moments of like, oh crap, that's new, that's never happened before, you learn, right? I learn from each and every one of those. And so, like I said, if Mel Robbins can do it, she's like a New York Times bestselling author or whatever, I can do it too. I can have these little like freakouts. All right, starting with mug talk. We got mug talk today. Today's mug comes to us from a bed and breakfast we stayed at on vacation. This was the first one of these mugs that I got that has this look to it. It's kind of got like a two-tone, like very pretty color. And again, it's like you can put your arms around it or put your hands around it. I really love it. And I feel like this is the mug that like set the standard. And like, it's so funny. Like as I was getting ready to record, I was like, I don't have any Christmassy mugs. Like I don't have any Christmassy mugs. This is sort of a Christmassy. I mean, look at it. It's a deep red or deep green. Like it's kind of quasi Christmassy. But I need to get a Christmas mug. Now we know. That's what I need to do. All right. So we are ready to go. Bright Star Mornings. So glad to have you. Topic of the day, of course, today is the solstice. So today is the December solstice. And in the Northern Hemisphere, which I live in the Northern Hemisphere, I live in the United States, it is the winter solstice. That makes today the shortest day of the year. It's funny because I have an Apple Watch, and like I have a Apple Watch face that shows you sort of the day. And actually this, the Apple Watch I'm wearing right now has the newer version of that. And I'm looking at it, and the day is just this tiny little pie, like the daylight hours. And in the version where you can see sort of the daylight hours, it's like nighttime, dawn, daylight. Oh, this is weird. Nighttime, dawn, daylight, and then, sundown, and then night again. The day is so short right now. So this is the darkest day. We are at the darkest day. Now, some fun facts about the solstice, like the solstice is a specific point in time, right? So the actual solstice is at I think it's like 8 o'clock my time. I'm here in the Pacific time zone. So like, I think it's like at 8 o'clock at night or something like that, whatever. But so the actual solstice moment is later, but today's the day, essentially. And so why am I bringing up the solstice today? Like, why do I care? So first of all, for a very, very long time. So when I first learned about, so throughout the year, there are different seasonal changes, obviously. Like I'm speaking to you, you live on Earth, hopefully the people I'm speaking to live on Earth. On Earth, we have 4 seasons, right? And so the seasonal changes in my mind are like the oldest human religion. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your religion is. You are a child of this planet. And from the oldest religions that we can find, from Stonehenge to Native Americans to, South America, Africa, everywhere you go, people have celebrated and honored the seasons. They're different in different places. So in some places you might just have rainy season and dry season, and that's it, but they were celebrated. I was reading the book Roots earlier this year, and it was very, very interesting and fascinating to learn about, in that part of Africa, the seasons that they honored and that they celebrated, and the land. And, now we're in the harvest season, and this is, what we do at this time. And then there's like kind of the fallow season, which is like their winter, but they didn't have a winter, right? Because they're like an equatorial people, like in Ghana or wherever they were from. They didn't have a winter, but they had kind of a fallow period, and they had things that they did during that time. And so I don't care where you're from, who you are, as a child of Earth, you are affected by the changing seasons and where you live. And so where I happen to live right now, it is the shortest day of the year. Today is the darkest day. Today, we have less sunlight hours than we're going to have for the, that we've had all year. It's just been getting shorter until today. So today, to me, is a great time for celebration. I mean, there's a reason why Christmas is on December 25th. Like, I think I'm pretty sure it's well established. I think most Christians know this, that like Jesus probably wasn't born at this time. We don't know. Actually, that's the fundamental thing is, for my Christian friends, like we don't know exactly when Christ was like born, right? And so when they had to sort of like decide and orient even the Christmas holiday of like, okay, well, we got to put it somewhere. We have to celebrate our, person, our savior, Jesus. They had to put it someplace, and it's like, what better place to put it than at this time of year where the light returns, right? The light returns into the world. That is where the Christians are coming from with Christmas, right? But that's also where like Hanukkah, the lights of Hanukkah are coming back. And then, a more modern celebration of Kwanzaa, it's the same thing of like, it's a festival of lights. It's a time where we celebrate the light. So this shirt I'm wearing, which you can't quite see, you can sort of see it. This says face towards the sunshine. And that is the invitation for today. So let me add that. I mean, I haven't had that, but like, I'll just say that, face towards the sunshine. So just for me, what's amazing and what's beautiful about the solstice and why I come back to it again and again and again, is that, or why I come back to celebrating it every year, is that it's a time of hope. It's a time in which we can say, as a people, we can say, yes, I am in the darkest time, but the light is returning. So in the year 2016, my mom passed away in January, like pretty much the very first thing. Like they were here for Christmas in 2015. My family, my mom flew back to Cleveland, where we're from. She had an acute aortic dissection 4 days after she left my house. And then I basically had to fly back, and then she was gone. Like January 11th, I think, is like the official like death day, but like essentially first thing, 2016, first thing, your mom dies suddenly, totally unexpected. And so 2016 became a year of a lot of discovery for me, a lot of going and searching for me. I met a lot of you in 2016 because I was out there searching, and I found acupuncture. I found life coaching. Hey, Heather Dalton. I found acupuncturist Josh. I could name the people too. I found the guitar, Faye. I went and tried and learned the guitar that year. And one of the things that I found was drum circle. So Starfeather, if you're watching this, yes. And drum circle healed me. And what drum circle was there's a local woman here who is basically an elder in the tribe. Like, she is, in my mind, she's like an elder and a teacher to me. And she opens up her home to women to come in circle. And to be in a women's circle means to sit with other women in a circle and share. And what you've been through, it doesn't matter. And so you may be asking, well, why didn't you go to grief support? So I had gone to grief support for my brother's death. My brother passed away in 2014, and I sat in circle there, and it was beautiful. And I'm sure I'll talk a Bright Star Morning about that, the group therapy and how important that is. After my mom passed, having 2 deaths back to back like that, it was hard to sit in that circle. So I found another circle. I found another tribe, and it was a tribe of women who sit in circle and drum. And I made a drum. I made a buffalo skin drum, which I'm not going to pull out. I'm pulling out my coffee. I made a buffalo skin drum that still is healing. It's a medicine drum is what those are called. They're healing drums. And I learned a song that year on the solstice. And I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to be put in any kind of Facebook jail. One of my favorite versions of it, by the way, is recorded by a group called Kiva. So look it up. I'm just going to put it. It's called Light is Returning. Check out the Kiva version. I like the Kiva version. They're like a band. I don't know where they came from. Anyways, and the lyrics of the song are, light is returning, even though it is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. Let's keep it burning. Let's keep the light of love alive. Make way the journey through the storm, or something like that, right? And so we would just sing this song and drum. Light is returning, even though it is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. And that is the key, right? Is even in the darkest of times, no matter what, light will return. And that, to me, is what the shortest day of the year is telling you. It's the darkest day. It's the furthest down and the darkest it's going to get. But you know what? Light is returning. We have light because of the darkness. You have the darkness because of the light. It will return. Light will return. And so to me, the solstice represents that in a very real, physical way, like a very natural way that says to you, hope is out there. And really, that is what Bright Star coaching is all about. Like, the reason I called it Bright Star, the reason I talk and I share is because I want to share that there is hope at the end of the tunnel, that there is a light in the darkness, that I've been through some really hard times too, some really dark things, and I've still been able to find that light again. You can't stop it. You can't stop the light. You can't stop the returning of the good times again. So yeah. So what do I do? Like, these days, I mean, throughout my life, I've honored the solstice in different ways. I have done, drum circles and stuff. There are local groups that will come together and like do drum circles. I don't know if I will do any of that today. I mean, honestly, like today, and in most years, I just celebrate the fact that it's the solstice. I'm just happy. And, like I said, I put on my little sunshine shirt. I, might go outside. It's been like pouring raining, by the way, here. Like, speaking of biblical, like, I mean, we've got a Noah and the Ark situation happening out here in my area. So, it's more like rain than it is anything else. But I really try to think about, and I'm always happier on this day. Like, I'm always like, oh, when's the solstice coming up? When's the solstice coming up? Because it's just such a wonderful reminder of hope coming back into the world and light coming back into the world. And then, and I think that's why I love that Christmas isn't exactly on the solstice. You've got the solstice, which is great for those of us that are a little bit pagan leaning, a little bit witchy. We have the solstice, and we can play and we can enjoy that, and we can celebrate the sunshine. And then Christmas comes, which for me is a very cultural holiday right now. Like, it's just a very cultural time, especially in the United States. And it's just a few days later. And so like by the time you get to Christmas, which is the 25th, you start to notice that the days are getting a little bit longer. You start to notice the few extra little minutes that you're getting, right? The days get longer so slowly, but by the time you get to like January, and then next week, I may talk a little bit about New Year's. Because next week is going to be the 28th. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about like New Year's and what that means to me. Actually, yeah, we'll just plan on that. Bright Star Mornings next week. We're going to talk about New Year's and New Year's resolutions because that's a hot topic. So I'll just put next week, New Year's. Next week's topic, New Year's. Yeah. So yeah. I love this time of year because you start to see that light truly returning. Another thing that typically happens around the same time of year, speaking of, different practices of the light returning, I can't believe I didn't mention this one, is for many years, I would go to Rahatsu retreats as a Buddhist, Soto Zen Buddhist is, so the Rahatsu retreat celebrates the Buddha's enlightenment, which again, like it was in India somewhere. We don't know when that happened, but like in the Zen communities that I have been part of, in the Zen traditions that I have been part of in the United States, in the West, they come from Soto Zen, which is Japanese Zen. We celebrate Rohatsu, Buddha's enlightenment, it's usually earlier in December. It's like the first week of December, second week of December. And I have been on multiple long, intensive retreats at that time. And one of the things and I will end it here. One of the things I truly, truly loved about the Rahatsu retreats, and this is what I miss having now, the couple kids and not really being able to do retreat practice like I used to, is on the last night. So Rahatsu retreats, the ones I've been on, 3 to 5 days, let's say 3 to 5 days. And on the last night of the retreat, Buddha's enlightenment retreat, we would sit through the night. And the first year that I did it in Atlanta, Georgia. And I literally was he had like a platform, our sensei, our Roshi had a platform and like you could put your little zafu there. And this is outside in Atlanta in December. I had a what do you call it? Oh my gosh. A sleeping bag that I had like a blanket. And I sat outside and I looked at this tree and I meditated all night. And well, it was sitting and walking meditation. You'd alternate, right? And then I'll never forget this experience. It was getting to be dawn. So the idea is you meditate through the night and then you see the first star of the morning, the light returning, right? And it's a metaphor, like a parable of like the Buddha. That's what he did. He sat through the night and then he saw the morning star and he became enlightened. And so you sit, and it was coming to be the dawn, and somebody, I don't know who, just started he had a stick, and he started banging it, and slowly but surely I could see the sun coming up, and this visceral moment of like sitting in the cold in the winter, and then a clear sky, and then the light returning, and this person sort of like announcing the light returning was just an amazing experience for me. And it really, in a true way, brought that. And then a tradition that we have, especially locally, in Atlanta, we did go for a morning walk, but in here, especially there's a Zen center that I've been to. We do a morning, it's like a first light walk. All of us, the whole Zendo. So you have all of these people. We go for a walk and we would sing. We would sing. There's a Zen chant that is the three refuges chant. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, right? I haven't said in a long time, so I might Gacchami, excuse me. Dhanmam Saranam Gacchami. Some of you guys know this one. But anyway, so we would walk the town singing this song like very softly, and it was a first light walk. So actually I think that should become my tradition. I know I'm like making up a tradition right now, but like that's what we did for the Rahatsu retreat, to sort of celebrate the new light, celebrate light returning, celebrate the Buddha's enlightenment, as symbolized by the daylight coming up. And that to me is sort of gives me I'm a kinesthetic person. Okay. If you haven't noticed, like I'm a very like feeling person. That gives you that feeling of hope returning. And for me, it propels me forward. And this time of year, this day in particular, the solstice, face towards the sun, light is returning. Even though it is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. So there you go. I've seen a few people come in and out, but this one I was really looking forward to. So because the solstice means a whole lot to me. And I want to share that with everybody. And I want to share the hope of a new day, because that's really what it represents. And you always have that. Every single day, you have a new day that you can start, and you can decide, what do I want today? So yeah, see ya.